Look, I mean, Apple Computer was like worth $3 billion 12 years ago, and then went to $600 billion. If you ask me, Apple Computer is going to $2,000 a share, right? I mean, I'd be very, very long that company. Whoever's selling that stock must be a moron, right? I mean, this is a company that's going to actually have 4 billion devices out there. If they roll them over once every 4 years, they're going to sell 1 billion devices a year. And the thing that people they don't get, right? You either get it or you don't get it. I'm going to come back to your PC question. I know a lot about PCs. I bought 10,000, 20,000 PCs in my life. I got 3,000 sitting underneath my desks. You put a Dell computer underneath a desk, you don't care that it's loud and it's hot and it's a power hog and it's ugly and it's heavy and it's like an ugly beige cabinet with screws showing. You don't give a crap. You just want it to be $400 or $500. Okay? You put a phone in your pocket and you sleep on it or next to it. You care whether it's hot. You care what it looks like. You care the battery life. You care about the radio. This is an iPhone 5. This runs 10 times faster than an iPhone 4. There's not an 8-year-old on the planet that doesn't want an iPhone 5. Right? Who wants to wait 42 seconds to watch something download instead of 2 seconds? Nobody. Right? You don't have to be a genius to run Apple Computer. You just have to, every year, make the product a bit lighter, a bit more elegant, make it a better radio, make it a better battery. And then I sat with one of the 10 richest guys in the world for dinner 5 nights ago, and we had dinner for 4 hours, and he did half the talking, I did half the talking, and he's much more successful than I am. I understand that, by the way. As I said, sometimes you got to do other things than just have opinions to make money, right? There's a lot of execution involved in the rest, but I have opinions. So he said to me, Apple Computer, can these guys hold their prices? Aren't they going to follow the model of the PC industry? Aren't their prices going to taper down? Their 40% margins are going to become 30 and 35 and 20. And it's another example of people just know enough to hurt themselves, right? If you're going to know a subject, you better know the subject, because being like a dilettante and knowing part of the subject is just enough to hurt yourself somehow. And I said, no, their gross margins don't have to tailor down. I mean, if you go to France, and this is the benefit of seeing enough, you go to France, you see Bernardo Arnault runs a company, LVMH. They're selling handbags for $4,000, $3,000, $2,500 each. This is a device that women view as fashion, and it's 10,000 years old. And for 10,000 years, no, the prices are not lower after 10,000 years. If you actually care about this thing, how many women have $300 pair of shoes? How many have 2? How many have more than 2? Right? The truth of the matter is when the technology goes from being a utilitarian vocational brick that I put under my desk, no one gives a crap about that, to being a piece of clothing, right? A fashion statement, extension of your personality, a piece of jewelry. And iPhones, iPads, they're somewhere between clothing and jewelry and accessory. At that point, they can hold that price point forever. They can basically sell you another $500 device every 2 years forever, because everybody's got 5. And that the first billion people have got that, and the rest of the world's getting elevated up. So I think that you're going to see you'll see a wider diversity of offerings. You'll see there will be cheaper tablets, and the $100 tablet will go to Pakistan and the 700 million peasants of China, and more power to them. That means those 700 million peasants are going to get a college education and get a master's in computer science, and I'll probably be hiring 20,000 of them. And I'll pay them $5,000 a year, which will be 5 times more than $1,000 a year, and then I'll pay them $10,000 a year, and the entire society will go from 2 billion to 3 billion to 5 billion white-collar workers, and as their discretionary income increases, they're going to buy more and more expensive things. And anybody sitting in the middle of that, controlling the software application networks that have all the asset value in them, those companies are going to benefit in a marvelous fashion.
Now, imagine a world where a Harvard education is available only through a mobile device, and physical products like remote controls and bookshelves have been replaced by mobile software. That may not be such a distant reality, according to MicroStrategy CEO Ma이클세일러, author of The Mobile Wave. MicroStrategy has already been mapping out a new future for intelligent software for the last 15 years. But in his book, Saylor explains how mobile is coming to dominate computing. Our editor-at-large, Corey Johnson, spoke with him about the concept and asked why he believes mobile will alter life as we know.
I mean, the theme of the mobile wave is every company is becoming a software company, whether they like it or not, to the extent that they provide a good or a service that touches the consumer. So unless you have a diamond mine or an oil well, you better become a good software company. And clearly, Google, Facebook, Apple are the winners. The losers are companies that need to be great software companies, but either in denial and they're hoping that this is not going to happen, or they're just incapable of developing great software skills.
What things die? What businesses go away? I mean, is that happening already?
Businesses that are based upon local, average, or mediocre provision of goods and services. If the only reason you're here is because you're the only person with a printing press in Hong Kong and nobody else can afford to print a paper and ship it to you, then that's no longer the case. I mean, I would expect the New York Times is going to ship to 500 million people, and if it doesn't, then someone else is going to come along that can ship a paper in English language to 500 million people. So I think you can't hide behind local rules, local laws, local material constraints, and local labor constraints anymore. You have to be prepared for a global, very competitive world where the single best person in the world is probably going to ship their software every single place it might possibly go.
It also seems like a lot of physical things, those things that remain, will have to be connected in mobile ways that we're not thinking about right now.
Yeah, I think if we take something as simple as a key, right? In the electromechanical world, a key opens a door. It's pretty clear that sometime in the near future, your smartphone is going to become a key. And if I can actually open my apartment with a piece of software on my smartphone, I can flick the key to 25 people. I can create a key that only opens the door to my apartment when I'm not there, or a key that only opens the apartment from 9 to 5 when I am there. At that point, keys are all on a network, and someone's going to be running a server that's got 1 billion keys networked into it, and they'll be running all the software to open and close all those doors. I think we're going to see lots of application networks form that are worldwide that provide very, very powerful software services.
So MicroStrategy's average purchase price was a little less than 16,000. And right now, the price is about 33,000. So you've more than doubled your investment. And most likely by the end of the year, we're probably going to be in some kind of bubble, I imagine. So the return will be even higher. And you've said that you didn't buy the Bitcoin to sell it. But would MicroStrategy ever take some off the table when you sense the market is at a top and then just buy in later when there's another correction? Or do you just plan to hodl through all the cycles, and weather those, whatever 80% downturns when the crypto markets are in a bear market?
Yeah, again, I just disagree with your characterization. I don't expect an 80% downturn. I don't think it's a speculative asset, and I don't think you can quote unquote take money off the table. You're speaking like a crypto trader right now, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe you're doing it just to represent their interest, but I don't see the world that way. I think that Bitcoin is sound money. It's the technically superior asset class compared to the dollar, the euro, the peso, the bolivar, compared to a stock index, compared to gold, compared to silver, compared to everything you can conceivably buy. It is technically, thermodynamically superior as an asset. So when you say things like that to me, and maybe you just do it just to see what I'll say back, I just imagine you preaching to me in Argentina while you're asking me if I'm going to sell the dollars and buy pesos back again as the peso sleeps from 20 to the dollar to 40 to the dollar to 80 to the dollar. Or if we're in, Venezuela. I mean, you think a Venezuelan company is going to quote unquote take some money off the table by selling their US stocks and their US dollars to buy back into local currencies? Or then, in Zimbabwe, you think they would take money off the table, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? right? There's no second best, okay? It's not like Google and Facebook. It's not like Apple and Amazon. Yeah, we can debate Apple or Amazon, what's better. They both look like tech monopolies to me. They both look pretty good. On the other end, Bitcoin or no, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's crypto asset. This entire idea of like 60% dominance is bullshit, ridiculous, stupid, right? Like it's stupid. It's not 60% dominant. It's like 96% or 95% dominant, right? The thing, if you compare it as a crypto asset to a like kind of proof of work crypto network, right? That's meant to be a store of value. You know, you're lucky if you can scrape together 5% of other stuff in the last bucket. So there is no real competitor.